first time I've come actually away from watching a game of football for Grimsby going, I'm frustrated. After that draw, it ended up a draw. It ended up Shrewsbury 1, Grimsby Town 1, and like I said, frustrated is the nicest way I could put it. We're too lackluster in the way of finishing teams off. We were, as I'm sure Artel would say, we were the better side again. But once again, haven't won. That is now 6 games without a win. And it was a bitty game in truth. I think everyone could see that if you watched it, and if you were there as well, I'm sure people felt it. It was a very bitty game. It was Town in the first 20 minutes couldn't really get the football going, and they couldn't get the feel of it really. It was all direct, felt like, lumping the ball feel to the game. The lineup was sort of what you would expect. It was Pym in goal, a back four of McJanet, Tharm, Rogers and Staunton. McEachran, Burns, Green, Walker, Vernam and Cabia. And like I said, the first 20 minutes or so, Town was struggling to get to grips with more or less the lack of football that was being played. And obviously with Shrewsbury struggling near the bottom, they're going to try and make things as difficult as they could. And for them, people like Tony Scully and of course former Mariners loanee George Lloyd was doing that alongside experiencing Sam Clucas and their own KBA on the other side, who, to be fair, for the first 20 minutes was really good for them, probably player of the match for them, and obviously another experienced player in Sam Stubbs for Shrewsbury Town. So they had a good side, but I think for the first, I would say half an hour, I said 20 minutes, but 20 minutes and half an hour, Town were not playing their stuff. They couldn't hold on to the ball. Obviously it was windy conditions, which didn't help, but I'd say that goes for both sides. Most of the time in that half, the ball was sort of sticking in the wind a lot, the side that we were kicking, and it was very frustrating when Town did get the ball down a bit. We were good. We passed the ball around well when we did get it down, but some of the crossing was threatening without really having anything on it. Burns and Vernam, I think Burns definitely had one of the better first halves. McEachran doing his job as you would expect George to do. Not really a lot of chances from Shrewsbury's point of view. We did get the breakthrough when it was Jamie Walker was brought down on 38 minutes. Their players were obviously disputing that it was outside the box. You could clearly see, and the referee was in a very good place, that it was inside the box. He didn't, the defender didn't, it was Hull, he didn't really, he had no leg to stand on really in that one. It was a pen and it was calmly put away nicely by Charles Vernam, and you're thinking, you know, keep going, keep the pressure up, keep the belief up, and you're thinking, getting the half-time one up, possibly even two up, we'll take that. But right towards the end of the first half, it was very funny that Shrewsbury got a throw in sort of right in line with our box, and Sam Glucas, obviously the experienced midfielder, sort of took the throw and it kind of slipped out of his hand and sort of didn't get the momentum in the throw, but it somehow found its way back to Glucas, and he swung a beautiful ball in for the danger marksman John Marquis to powerfully head past Pym. Cannot fault the goal. It was pure quality really by Shrewsbury. One of the real bits of quality, I would say, in there, and there was no stopping the header. It was just too good. It left Christy Pym flat-footed, and that obviously took it to half-time. In the second half, Town again had most of the ball. Shrewsbury had obviously closed the gap in the way of the ball, but again we were trying desperately to create something. Burns had a shot from just outside, which was saved by Brook. We did try the tactic when we got a corner to try and put it under Brook's crossbar, due to they noticed that one thing that he did struggle with at the weekend in the FA Cup, and many a time it was either Vernam or it was Burns that did that, but you know they held firm definitely in the second half. Town though surprisingly didn't, and I say surprisingly, did not make a change until the 64th minute, which was Greeny coming off for Evan Corey, which I kind of understood, but I was a little bit surprised at first, because I thought, you know, but I understand that with Kieran's injury concern, so you want to sort of break him back in, although I'm sure Kieran would have preferred to have stayed on. And then we didn't make a sub though until the 86th minute, when we made a double sub, when Justin Malazov came on for Dower Burns and Zach Gilzenon came on for Charles Vernam. And that's when it felt as though maybe we were looking just for the draw. It'll say that we didn't, because I mean Justin Malazov when he came on had a quick chance afterwards, which deflected off, got blocked and deflected for a corner. And one thing Town did create a lot of was free kicks. We were making a lot of chances in that regard. Some of the balls were really, really good, and some of the balls were not so good, which you have to accept at this level. But it was very frustrating when we got to about 65, 70 minutes. I was really starting to get frustrated, because I felt as though it wasn't clicking, and it's not clicking. You know, you then bring probably a couple of your best players off. and Jamie Walker, kept trying, but I saw a lot of people on social media after the game saying KBA can't play up top on his own. I've got to be honest with you. You can see why Jays is getting frustrated. As much as you've got Burns one wing and Vernam the other, he's got nobody to run off. And it seems to be that Artell is continuously going to be playing the one up front, which okay, fine, but Jays won't hold the ball up for you. And some of the balls that we played today were overhit. Obviously, it was windy, which didn't help us as such in the second half. We still created most of the chances, but again, didn't take one. And again, that's what happens when you're not being prolific enough. If we look at some of the stats, Town had it on possession, 56.5%, 12 shots, 4 on target. Shrewsbury had 8, and really only that Marquis header on target. Touches in the opposition box, 26-16 in Town's favour. Aerial duels won 29-23. Obviously, Town committed the same amount of fouls as Shrewsbury. 6 corners to their 2. And again, all the stats were in Town's favour. The amount of passes, the pass accuracy, everything was in Town's favour. And that is, I'm sure, what Artell will be talking about. But I said to a friend of mine afterwards, I said, how many more times now can we go and say we played better, but this isn't a criticism of the gaffer as such, but you've got to start turning that playing better but not getting the result. You've got to start getting the result. I mean, it's not panic stations by any means as of yet. But it's like, it is kind of like if you can't win, don't lose, and we haven't lost. But that one feels like a loss to me. Like I said, the first time I've come away from a Town game really frustrated. And it's not because of Shrewsbury's league position or anything like that. It just feels to me that there's something in there at the minute that is not quite working. At least in the league. And it makes you question what Artell's got to answer, and what the lads have got to answer is, we're not putting teams to bed when in front. We are dropping a lot of points from winning positions, which is what's hurting. We're creating more. The numbers would say we've been the better side, but like I've said, how can you keep saying that and the results aren't proving that? Now, I'm sure Artell will be saying, if we keep doing what we're doing, things will turn. I'm sure we'll have an upturn at some point, but it's very, very hard to not be frustrated on a result where, in the end, we seem to try and find Doug Tharm a lot with our crosses and We did that with the last attack that we had. That I think Doug was hoping it had come off the Shrewsbury defender, but it hadn't. And it's just thinking, again, I know what Artill's post-match is going to be. We were the better side. But result wouldn't say that. Stats would say that. But results recently wouldn't say that. They'd say you can have as much of the ball as you like, but even though we are probably at least third highest scoring team, maybe even second in the division, we can't seem to grit a result out, grit a win out in a minute. Hoping form will change, but we can't keep using the playing better or being the better side and drawing, or being the better side and losing. That will only take fans so far. I agree that I think Cabia needs some help up there. He does. He's not a player that can play up on his own. I think he needs someone to run off. Which I'm surprised that obviously there's a reason why he didn't play Rose. Don't know what that reason was. But yeah, this is the first time I've gone into a review and gone, we've blown it again. We've blown points again. By, in one respect, our inability to finish a team off when all the stats are in our favour, and they only had the one shot on target, which makes it even more sickening, because it makes you think, well, they're definitely more clinical than us. They might not be creating as much, but they're punishing us for us not being. And we are playing some nice stuff when we get the ball down, moving it and things like that. But sooner or later, fans are gonna, start questioning some things. At the minute, I think the fans are okay, but there's a lot of frustrated fans out there, me being one of them. It's the first time I was sat there watching them and going, no, I was sort of, I was in, and it was like when Jamie Walker in the second half, he had a chance where he could have took a shot. I'm surprised he didn't. He tried to sort of lay it off, and he sort of, he overplayed the pass, really. And you're thinking, Jamie, just take a shot, mate. From where you were, about 18, 20 yards out. Just take the shot. I'd rather the shot balloon over the bar than a pass that he obviously felt the pressure of the Shrewsbury defender. But why did he not just take the shot on? I would rather have seen, like I said, the shot go over the bar and balloon over the bar than that. And then the Marzor did that late on and said, there you go, we got a corner out of it. But we're not doing enough to win games, are we? And what I mean by that is, we're maybe creating the chances and we're maybe doing that, but we're not doing enough to put them away. We're not doing enough to put the chances away. We're creating them, but we're not doing enough to put them away. And a battling point for Shrewsbury, who are basically fighting for their lives down at the bottom of League Two. And you can call them a poor a poor side, but at the end of the day, they've got something. That point is a better point for Shrewsbury than it is us. You would normally say going away, you'd take a point. And yes, you take the point, but, we can't keep being this dominant in games and not winning them. Because sooner or later, that's going to find us out. And it's just such an annoying, frustrating position to be in. To know that it's another game where we were, stats-wise, definitely the better side for a majority of the game. We only get a point out of it. 1 win in 7 games. No wins in 6. But, it's amount of points in those 6 games that we've actually threw away, really. Swindon was one of them. Barrow was the other one. And obviously the other results as well. It's Crew. It baffles me because you can tell the lads are good. You can tell the lads are giving you everything they've possibly got. And, we've got goals in this side. We know that. But if we cannot shut other teams out, it feels like Town at the minute have got to score 2 goals or more to even win a game. I mean, that was a game that is frustrating again. I'll read the shot stat for Shrewsbury. 8 shots and 1 on target. And that was their goal right at the end of the first half. And we, we create 4 more chances than them and have 3 more shots on target than them, and we only score 1 goal, and that was the pen. So it's about us being wasteful, but like I said, and I'll say it again, how many more times can we go at the moment and say we're the better side, but at the minute, it's not wrong, we're the better side, but we're not the better side. Because you can say that as much as you like. If you don't end up getting the wins to back that up, or start turning those draws that you're getting into wins, it's sooner or later fans are going to get more and more agitated and more frustrated with that. But that is the first time I've been really openly frustrated. Is we might be doing enough in one regard, but we're not doing enough in the other. We can't really keep 1-0s. We're not a clean sheet team. We have to score 2 or 3 to win games, whereas tonight should have been 3 points, and that's what irritates me. We'll take the point and move on to Notts County at the weekend at home. They're flying at the minute. Yikes. They've actually won 3-2 at MK Dons tonight. Ta very much. So it's it'll be an interesting sort of game on Saturday. But they've got threats all over the pitch. Notts. They really have sort of come into their own. A draw for us, disappointing. Like I always said, you take it, but knowing it should have been so much more. and this is a hard one to take. The Swindon draw you can accept, and a few results you can accept. You know, Tranmere we lost last minute. There's just those little niggling, frustrating things starting to occur that we need to sort of rectify to stop any real frustration start to build. If you were at Shrewsbury, credit to any of you that went, of course. Always, I could hear you all the way throughout the broadcast, really. I have no doubts about our fans. We're seeing some good football at times, but just lately the results are a little concerning. You know, how many times we're going in front, but we're dropping points from winning positions, which is obviously is a concerning thing. So if you did go tonight, leave me your thoughts down below. Be as honest as you like, because I think it's very true. I think we need to rectify this, and soon. And before I go as well, someone else over who's saying January. I don't know what he does in January. I really don't. I mean, I've heard people say another goalie. I don't actually know what he could do. I don't want players to be bought in for the sake of it, just to bring them in. I really don't, because you'd just be bringing a player in to bring them in. We've got a good squad here. There's no doubt about that. We need, obviously, maybe a couple of holes to be filled. Obviously, Sweeney hopefully getting back from injury soon as well. We are missing Jaden. You can kind of feel that. Some of Artel's decision making tonight baffled me a little bit. This is a hard one to take. Leave me you guys' thoughts down below, because I'd like to get your thoughts on this. Very, very frustrating. Do like, share, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. And I shall go and try and, shall we say, lick our wounds a little bit after that, after this disappointing draw at Shrewsbury Town, which ended Shrewsbury Town 1, Grimsby Town 1. I will see you guys for a preview for Notts County later on in the week. It'll probably come Friday. But do get your thoughts in down below, and I will see you in the next one. Boy, oh boy, we've got to learn to finish our chances. Simple as that. And but we move on. Up the Miners. I'll see you soon. Ta-da for now. Bye-bye.